right, DJ Crypto here. Just coming at you to follow up on the last video I made about the mining rigs and the components that are specific to the mining rigs and what you're going to need and how you can get started. I wanted to make sure you had a good foundation of information to really make a good decision and not put your investment, your hard-earned money into something that isn't going to give you the kind of return that you're looking for. So here in this video, I'm going to explain some of the pros and cons of mining so that you can make a good, educated decision and understand more fully what's involved. All right, let's get started. So, some things to consider. So first of all, power costs are going to be one of your main overheads or consistent costs involved with mining. And they're fairly significant depending on where you live. If you're in the United States, on average, the United States is charging about 10 cents per kilowatt hour. And I'm going to explain to you how to calculate your power cost for your rig. Now, if you build, I'm going to use my rig as an example, what I posted in the last video. And so if you build that exact rig, you'll have these same numbers minus the overall cost of the rig, which will change depending on the current going rate of everything. The rig that I built draws about 700 to 800 watts. And so this is how you calculate your power costs. So first of all, you identify how many watts does your rig draw by using your watt meter. So you plug that into the wall and it will give you a read. So you start running everything and then you have it plugged into the wall and it'll give you a read on what that draw is from the wall. And so the one that I use, I'm going to use 750 watts as a baseline for what we're going to do here. Next, you're going to multiply that number by the number of hours it will run each day. I'm guessing you want to make money all the time. And so we're going to say 24 hours a day. So we do 750, as you can see here, times 24, and that equals 18,000 watt hours per day. Next, you convert that into kilowatt hours. So you take that 18,000 and divide it by 1,000, and that gives you 18 kilowatt hours per day. Then you multiply that by 30 because there's 30 days in a month, and that will give you your kilowatt hours per month, 540. Now, you figure out how much you pay for electricity, and you get that off of your power bill that you get from your power company. Now, they'll tell you on there what you pay per kilowatt hour for the month. And so now that we've calculated our kilowatt hours, now we just need to know what the cost is. And so the reason I use 14 is some states will use, or power companies will use, a tiered system where if you only use so much, you get charged a small amount, and if you use more, you get charged a bigger amount, and if you use the most, you get charged a bigger amount. With running a whole bunch of rigs, I run at the top tier, and so we're just going to say 14 cents per kilowatt hour, and so we do that math, and it gives us $75.60 a month in power costs, just for that one rig, right? Just for that one rig. So the only way to justify paying an extra $75 a month in power costs is to be earning more than that. And so now we need to identify roughly how much we're going to make off of the rig, what it's going to be making us to make sure that we're in the black and we're going to be making money rather than just feeding money to the power company. And so here, if you do the math off of 180 mega hashes per second, which is what this rig will give you, I mine roughly $231 a month in Ethereum. And that's about $155 a month in profit after power costs. Now, that's not huge. That's not mind-blowing. Some of you might go, well, shoot, I just spent $3,500 on this rig and it's going to give me $155 a month in return. That's going to take an eternity to pay itself off, and then it's only giving me $155 a month in profits. Now, that's right now. When I first started, the return was roughly $50 a day, from this same rig. And so right now it's money about $7.50 a day, whereas when we started it was $50 a day. And so we'll talk about that in a minute, about how that price changes and what you need to be aware of so that you don't get yourself involved in something like mining or really ant mining or mining with your GPUs or whatever you're going to purchase or build, you don't get involved expecting these massive results, and then to have a month later you only had 1 month of good results, or by the time you got it started those results were already diminished significantly. So excellent. Hopefully that made sense, the cost per hour or the cost of power. And then what you can do to increase your profits, like the nice thing about the GPU miners or the video card miners is that they are versatile. You don't have to mine Ethereum. Now, if you want to mine Ethereum, even though Ethereum is slowly going away, the difficulty of mining Ethereum is getting more and more progressively more challenging because of the number of people mining it and the way that Ethereum is set up. It's set up to become more and more difficult to mine until you no longer can mine it, and then they're going to change to a proof of stake system, which we won't get into this time, but we can talk about that in another video. So one way of doing this is to mine low cap coins. So a lot of brand new coins that come out that have very, very little money invested in them. No one's really, really buying into them huge. And even though they're there, they may be worth, a thousandth of a penny. You can mine those. A lot of those you can go to their websites and you can download software to mine them. You can use your miner to mine those. Now, it is more risky because that coin may be worth nothing forever. And then you've mined nothing, but some of them do take off and you make significant gains. And so you could, if you built multiple miners, mine multiple low cap coins and hope to hit it big on one of them. That's one way. You can also mine big coins like Zcash or something. Find whichever one is the best to mine at the moment, and then change to whatever you want, whatever is the most profitable at the moment, and that will increase your profits as well. And so you can do all this research and do some of the math and find out if that's valuable enough for you to start mining. Also, there's always tweaking settings and adjusting things on the rig to get a little bit better hash rate. That's not going to change your output significantly, but it could give you more reason to go with that decision and start mining. Now, things to consider. In addition to power costs, we've got equipment costs. So like I said earlier, the rig that I had posted on the last video is roughly $3,500 if you were to buy it today or even a couple months ago. Make sure you consider that, because if you consider that cost, when's it going to actually, what's the rate of return on the return on your investment on that rig? Is it going to pay itself off fast enough to start actually making you profit? And then the maintenance costs. It's going to take time to build, time to maintain, when things break down, and do troubleshooting. You're going to have research involved. Are there new coins that are more profitable? Plus, when you're changing the coins and finding new software, that's all taking time. And time really is your valued resource. And so you want to add that into the equation. Is this profitable enough for you to jump in? And so, and like anything in a brand new, fresh market, it's a little risky. You could get your equipment and then that coin goes south, right? And so you want to make sure you do some research. That's why I'm providing all this content to you, so you've got information to base your decision on. And then lastly, another thing to consider is the hash difficulty. It increases with the algorithm that the company has put in place to run that coin. And secondly, it increases with the popularity of people mining it. So Ethereum blew up in July of 2017. Absolutely took off, like June, July. And so it was sitting, I'm going to show you the actual difficulty growth chart here. Let me switch over to that right now. All right, so here's the difficulty growth chart of Ethereum. So you can see in January 2017, we're sitting at roughly 78, 80, and then it's going up slowly. Come June, boom, exponential growth takes off. So when I first started mining, we were sitting at anywhere from 400 to 500, like right in this range, and it was super profitable. Think about that. 400 to 500, and right now it's roughly 3,000. That's 6 times more profitable. That's almost $50 a day. I mean, it was a no-brainer. No-brainer, get involved. But once all the equipment arrived, after ordering it and building it and putting it together, we're sitting at 700. Still great profits, but you can see it climbed quickly. And so if you're in a proof of work system, you'll see them abbreviated as POW system. That means that the more people the more people mine, the more difficult it becomes to earn from it, because they have to maintain how the amount of coins that they're distributing at the same rate, no matter how many people are mining. And so if the same number of coins is going out at the same rate, or the same number of blocks is being solved, I've got a video that talks about that if you want to go watch it. If the same number of blocks needs to be solved, then that means the time it takes each individual person to solve that, or the challenge or difficulty it takes to solve that, has to go up. And so that means that if I have a rig that mines at 180 mega hashes a second, back here at 500, by the time we're here at 3,000, it's 6 times less productive for me. So instead of $48 or $50 a day, it's now mining $7 a day. Now, obviously, the market value of the coin needs to be taken into account as well, because this is going to give me numbers of coins, and if the market value of the coin shoots up 300%, that's going to offset half of this and give me, put me back at roughly $25 a day per rig. But the chances of that are slim, and so you need to take this into account, that as you are looking to mine certain coins, keep an eye on the difficulty. As the difficulty goes up, the productivity of your miner goes down. And so if you're looking at a coin, a proof of work coin that you're looking to mine, keep an eye on the difficulty, and it will help you know, is it time to switch which coin you're mining? Should you look at more low cap coins? Should you change to another high cap coin that's not being mined very much? Or do you stick with your coin, hoping that other people, you can see the drop off here, but these big jumps, like this 11% jump right here, that's just the algorithm slowly fading out mining. It's removing mining, and so it makes it more and more challenging until no one mines it. So you can see, once that hit, a lot of people stopped mining. And so sure, this little dip is going to increase the profitability of my miner in a small way, but you can see that it's becoming less and less profitable. So it doesn't mean mining is not worth it. It just means Ethereum might not be the thing to mine in the very near future. And so I wanted to make you aware of that so that you don't get yourself involved in something that isn't as profitable as it looked when you first purchased it. And so hopefully that answers some of your questions, gives you some information to base your decision on, and helps you see how fun cryptocurrencies can be. You just got to be in the game, and you got to be on the leading edge of the information so that you are profiting from all the decisions and the way the market's moving, rather than you chasing the market. And so, excellent. If you got any questions, if I missed anything, please ask them in the comments below. If there's anything that you're missing where you feel like a video or something could help, please ask. I'll gladly take requests to do some videos for you guys, and let me know how I can help you. All right, thanks so much. DJ Crypto out.